Welcome to Fueling Your Legacy, hosted by Samuel Knickerbocker. Each week, we expose the faulty foundational mindsets of the past and rebuild a new, stronger foundation essential in creating your legacy. We've got a lot of work to do, so let's get started. Book Review Wednesday. I'm so excited for this. We are going to be reviewing the book called PR Rules, the Playbook, the Entrepreneur's Guide to Supersizing Your Small Business with the 8 Steps to PR Success. Now, I was a little skeptical, I'm not going to lie. You heard a lot of gimmicks, and I've been to a lot of different seminars to focus on specifically how do you get marketing done? What's the best way to really market yourself and spread yourself out there? And you never really know if you're going to get good information or bad information, or if it's just kind of in the middle information about how to do that. Now, the one thing that's cool is how much have I spent at going to all these seminars? I spent, at this point, hundreds of dollars, not quite thousands, I don't think, but definitely hundreds. No, probably thousands at this point, actually. Thousands of dollars trying to get access to this information. I've gone on 3-day retreats with marketing professionals and speaking professionals and website developers. I mean, I've done a ton there. I've joined whole entire groups with professionals in this area where you got to meet once a week or once every other week with these people and get to glean their information and ask them questions. So I've spent a ton of time and money into really finding out these principles, and come to find out, as I got this book off of Amazon, I think it was like $6. So I got this book off Amazon, and it pretty much encompasses 95% of what you're going to learn in all those seminars at a fraction of the cost. Now, just like we talked about on Wednesday, we have to think about, well, what type of learner am I? Am I a learner who's going to sit down and read a book? If that's the type of learner that you are, that can be super beneficial. This book is unique in the fact that it's kind of a reading book. It's a statistical book. It's a very awesome book that way, but it's also a workbook. So as you're going through reading, you can not only have places to record your thoughts, but you also will have opportunity to view other people's pages. I mean, she has put a lot, Hope Gibbs, the author of the book, she's put a lot of work into illustrating and showing different people's websites of how they've structured their websites, different people's formats and one of the steps in here is to get on the news, right? How do you get on the news? How do you help people understand and see who you are and make a splash in the news, whether on TV or being published in a newspaper or an online magazine or whatever it is, how to get published? Well, what she's done is she's actually given you form letters. She's written a whole thing out for you. Then she's shown you 3 or 4 different examples of like what to do step by step on how to accomplish that. That type of dialed in information is so valuable. So I strongly recommend picking up a book. I got mine on Amazon. I really do believe it was like $5 or $6. It's very inexpensive. But the most important thing is this is a book you do not want on Audible. I talked about on Monday how most of the books I consume, most of the content I consume is either on Audible or podcasts. I really like the audio experience, maybe some video. But this type of workbook, you really are going to want to pick up a copy. I wouldn't say it'd be a bad thing to get an audio version, but definitely you're going to want a copy because there's some things that you need to make notes in, you need to write down, and then little things that even if it's just one nugget, then it could transform the way you're showing up in your business and to the people that you're trying to market to. So the first section is really going over what is PR? What does public relations mean? How do you master that game? What's marketing? What's the difference between PR and marketing? What's the difference between marketing and advertising? So these are the smaller distinctions that you really often have to pay thousands for if you're going to a conference to really understand this. How do you use social media in marketing and advertising? And then what is the difference between marketing, advertising, and sales? Okay, I mean, sales is its own beast all by itself that's completely separate from marketing and advertising. So that's the first full section of the book. That's about 50-ish pages long of just huge amounts of content there, pictures, images, systems to really help you nail that down in each of those areas. And then step two is my favorite part of this whole book, and that is the 8 steps to PR success. Okay, so how do you really set yourself up, set your environment up? What's the system to make sure you're going to be successful with this? The first one is to create a stunning website. So many people, myself included, I put off getting a website for so long for multiple reasons. One, I thought, do I really need one? What's it for? It's just like a glorified business card. Another reason I put it off, the time and money it would take to create one. These are all dumb excuses, by the way, because it doesn't take very much time or money to create a website that's half good. You know, to maybe get a $3,000 or $4,000 website, yeah. If you're going to pay that much for it, you're going to get a way awesome website, and it's going to cost you that much. But to get a basic working website that is going to work and function as a landing page or a basic place for people to come and review and see your content. And she talks about the different, depending on what profession you're in, how you want to structure your website to really expose what you do and answer the 3 main questions of what you do, how you do it, and how much does it cost, and how much is it worth? What's the value? So she talks about that. Step two is developing an explosive PR marketing campaign. You can't just do one thing. So many people, they come like, I'm just going to do all Facebook, or I'm going to do all Instagram, or I'm going to do all print, or I'm going to do all mailers. The reality is all of those are tactics. They're not a strategy or a campaign. And so when you think like a military, you really do have to think of, you got to start thinking of marketing like a military invasion. And like you're going to take names, you're going to go burn your boats, and you're going all in. That's how you need to start thinking about creating public relations or PR or marketing or advertising for your business. For all of those, you've got to really think like a military strategist. Say, okay, how can we cut these other people's markets to a way, not necessarily to demean them, but to say, hey, look, this is how we're different, this is why we're different, and this is where we're planting our flag. Carving out a little space where you and your company can reside, and only you and your company, that is your greatest success. Make sure you're dialed in on who you're marketing to, why you're marketing to them, and how you're marketing to them. So, but then you're going to create a campaign. You're not just going to attack them from one area. You're not just going to use guns. You're not just going to use knives. You're not just going to use a tank or a missile or whatever. You've got to use all forms of tools or weapons to really accomplish your military campaign. Well, it's the same thing here. Your marketing campaign, you need to use all forms, not just one form, not just one tactic. You need to use all forms, all the tactics to really maximize your campaign. Now, sometimes you're going to be fighting a war on water, in which time you need submarines, you need boats, you need things like that. Well, if you're in the desert, there's not a lot of water. So there's certain tactics that aren't really going to make sense for your marketing campaign or for your war on the industry. So understanding which tactics to employ at different points in your marketing is key, and she's going to go through that in this book. Well, she does go through it. It's phenomenal. Number 3 is how do you become a columnist and a radio show host. Okay, that's what I did. I was like struggling with getting my name out there, and I said, you know what, I'm going to start doing it on Facebook. So I started my Facebook radio show, basically doing lives every day, and then gradually people started reaching out to me and saying, hey, I am a stay-at-home mom. I want to be able to keep doing housework and do the things that I'm doing while listening to your podcast, but I need it, or while listening to you, Sam, but I need it in a podcast form. I said, okay, well, I can do that. I can start my own radio show. I can start my own podcast, so that's easier for people to consume my content. So understanding that there's market research and letting people go in and correct where you're at, that's an important aspect. So super great things there. So become a columnist and radio show host. She really walks you through that. You know, the one thing that I got out of this is, and I've a lot of books are going to tell you this, but if you want somebody to market for you, or if you want to be able to get into these things, it's so tempting to say, oh, come interview me or come do this. No, that's not how you do it. You have to create basically a perfect thing for the person to send out to other people. So for instance, in my business, when I have a client who's like, yes, I love what you do, I want to become a client of yours, Sam, I say, perfect. For you to become a client of mine, you have to do this one thing. And I have a text pre-typed out that I send to them. I say, I need you to send it to X, Y, and Z people before I give them a call. Fair enough? Perfect. And so I've made it so easy for them to fulfill this requirement. All they have to do is copy and paste, copy and paste, copy and paste. And it makes the accomplishment of both of our goals so much easier. So that's the first one. That's the third one. Step 4 is to make a splash in the news. How do you get on TV? How do you get on other people's radio shows? How do you get in newspapers? How do you get in magazines? I mean, these are key components for the people who are the most successful. They're getting out there. They're being recognized. They're going to war and making sure that the media has to cover them. They're creating events that specifically they can invite the media to, charity events or whatever, so that they're getting that media coverage and thus exposing their brand to more and more people. Number 5 is to network wisely. Now, I think number 5 could honestly have been number 1 or number 2. Your network is your net worth. And that's said by so many people, and it cannot be more true. Literally, the people that you know is the equivalent of how successful you're going to be in life. It just is. If I can call up somebody who's worth $2 or $3 billion and say, okay, how can I get to where you're at? And they can give me 1 or 2 things that I can do. I now have a secret that nobody else has access to, or very few people have access to. So making sure that you're networking wisely, you're making the most out of your time. As I said earlier, I've spent a lot of money trying to get these tools, and some networking groups I've been a part of, they were just like, okay. They weren't really a return for their money on investment. There was no return on my investment. So networking wisely is important to be for your industry. Get in the right networking crowds of people who are going to help you. Then number 6, join a speakers bureau. So I have actually joined Toastmasters and the NSA, National Speakers Association, for 2 reasons. 1, because I love speaking, but 2, you're networking with tons of professionals who are on the top of their game. They're just booming in their business, and they're entrepreneurs. They understand the hustle. They understand the grind of what it takes to really grow. And number 7 is write a book. I have a small ebook. In fact, if you want to go ahead and text into this phone number, I'm going to give you the phone number. If you text this text this number and text FYL ebook, so Fuel Your Legacy Ebook, then you will actually, I will give you the website so you can download your own free copy of my ebook. But it's the 9 pillars to build a meaningful legacy. And this book is phenomenal. I mean, it's a life-changing book. It helps people understand exactly why it's important for them to create a legacy of meaning. And so write a book, get that notoriety. And then the last step is, I think the most important when it comes to PR, is you have to be willing to pay it forward. People who are selfish, they don't go very far. You have to be willing to pay all of the things you've learned, pay it forward, get as much mileage out of that, because as you start to give your stuff away and start to share that with other people, you actually have a lot more people getting interested in what you're doing. And there's actually a point where people don't want free things. A lot of people don't want free things. They want to know that something's worth paying for it. They would rather, just think to yourself, when was the last time I got something that was super, super valuable, lasted a long time, and it was high quality, and I got it for free? And most people don't want that. If you have a free option or option that's $30, $40, $50, they're going to choose the $50 option because in most cases that the $50 in our minds means, oh, there's more value there. And the irony of it is, it's not that the actual product is value. We're actually paying people what we think we're worth to have that product, and what we think that product is worth in our lives, how much that product's going to change our lives. And so the interesting thing is, as you start to pay it forward, you start to help more people with the content and the information that you have, then what you get is a following of people who want to pay you because they've received so much value out of what you've given them. I can't say enough good about this. The whole 3rd section of this book is just case study after case study after case study, and how different people in different industries have applied these 8 steps and completely transformed their business. I would say it's a must-do textbook. If you're watching this on YouTube, then you can see the cover, so you make sure you find the right one. And it's a PR Rules Playbook by Gibbs, the entrepreneur's guide to supersizing your small business with just 8 simple PR steps to success. So yeah, don't miss out on this book. There will be a link to the book in the show notes here on Amazon. And then also this phone number, if you want my free ebook, get a pen out, pull the car over, whatever you need to do, or go back, or just remember it. It is 385-2 I'm going to say that again. It is 385-263-7699. That number will also be in the show notes, along with the code to text to that number, which is FYL ebook. Stands for Fuel Your Legacy Ebook. So FYL ebook. Doesn't matter if it's caps or not, but definitely no spaces. FYL ebook. Just straight across, and the what to text in will be in the show notes as well. And as you do that, you can get access to my free ebook and start your path onto creating a meaningful legacy for you and your family. Have a great day. We're excited for Friday, where we get to actually speak with Hope, the creator and author of the PR Rules Playbook. And we'll talk to you soon. Catch you next time on Fuel Your Legacy. Thanks for joining us today. If what you heard resonated with you, please like, comment, and share on social media. Tag me so I can give you a shout out on the next episode. And thanks to all those who have left a review. It helps spread the message of what it really takes to build a legacy that lasts. Catch you next time on Fueling Your Legacy.